What in the world is Mo gonna do with all these tomatoes? That's the question. So tonight, I thought of 10 ways to use these tomatoes up before they go bad. They're just too good to let go to waste and not enjoy every minute of this fresh tomato season. These tomatoes came from my friend Steve's garden up on Sand Mountain, and Sand Mountain grows the best produce. Y'all have heard me say that before. I mean it. That sandy soil just knows how to grow good fruits and veggies. We lived up there when I was a kid. Deb lived up there, and we always had the best gardens. My dad would grow big old watermelons, juicy, yummy watermelons. He had a strawberry patch. We loved going out in the garden and just picking a tomato and eating it like an apple when we were kids. So these tomatoes are so yummy. So I have put together 10 things to do with these tomatoes. Some of them we're just going to talk about, and then a couple of them we're going to actually put these dishes together. So, I don't know about you, but my very, very, very favorite thing to do when I have fresh garden tomatoes is a BLT. Your classic BLT with bacon, lettuce, and tomato. And I like a lot of good old mayonnaise on mine too. But these tomatoes are so good on a BLT. Tink and I've had several since he's been bringing me tomatoes this past few weeks, and they're just so good. I really am sad about, the season coming to an end, and I won't get to have those anymore. But anyway, BLTs, number one. But another take on the BLT, and this is a freebie right here. It goes along with number one, which is BLT. But just regular American cheese slices, like these, just your Kraft or whatever, store brand, mayonnaise, tomatoes, and some lettuce on a sandwich. Yum, yum. We introduced our granddaughter to those a couple of years ago, and she wants one every time she comes to the house. So those are another option for a good sandwich using these tomatoes. So number two idea for using these tomatoes is a taco tomato. So we had tacos last night, and I saved a little bit of the taco meat here. And I'm just gonna show y'all, if I can find my knife, I'm gonna show y'all using my tomato knife. This is a serrated tomato knife. This one is made by Rada, which is my favorite knife. So I'm gonna take my tomato, and this is about a medium-sized tomato. It's not huge, but it's not small like these are. And I'm going to core it by just taking that middle out. And I always core my tomatoes. I cannot stand that hard part of the tomato. So I'm just gonna core it, and then I'm going to quarter it, but not all the way through. Just gonna run my knife about 3/4 of the way down. All right, just so it's kind of like this, kind of butterflied a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Man, these tomatoes are juicy. And then I'm going to take my my taco meat. I'm almost done here. I'm gonna take my taco meat, and I'm just gonna pile it in the middle. Yes, Armani, I'm fixing tacos. He loves taco meat, by the way. So I'm just gonna put my taco meat inside there as if it was a shell. Now, doing this, if you're on keto, this is a keto-friendly recipe. And then somewhere I've got some cheese and lettuce, and I believe I put it in the fridge a while ago. Here it is. So I saved a little bit of the cheese and lettuce. I've got some fresh grated cheddar cheese, and I'm just gonna put that on top. A little bit of lettuce. And then, to top that off, just a dollop of Daisy, a little dollop of sour cream on top. Cream, not cream. Ta-ta! Isn't that gorgeous? Taco tomatoes. So you could fix that for your family and they would love it, I'm quite sure. Armani says, or your cats. So there's your taco tomato. That's number 2 of things that you can do with your abundance of garden tomatoes. I made myself a mess here. All right, number 3 is much like the taco tomato, but this time you're gonna fill it with tuna. So make yourself a tuna salad, and there's a video somewhere on our page of tuna salad. And I just like simple tuna salad, just, you know, some little bit of mayonnaise, salt and pepper. You can add onions or celery or whatever you want. But anyway, make your tuna salad and then fill your tomato just like you did with the taco seasoning. And that is another way to use your tomatoes. That's number 3. Now, number 4, you're gonna have to go to my friend Kathleen's page at Grits and Gouda. If you don't follow Kathleen at Grits and Gouda, you need to. She has wonderful recipes. And she also does a lot of fun stuff around her house with the garden and everything. She shows you her garden just about every other day or so. And but anyway, she's got a recipe for a bacon tomato dip. And it sounds yummy. I have not made it, but it sounded good, and I probably will make it with some of these tomatoes. So that's number 4. Find recipes that you want to try while you have these good fresh garden tomatoes, and you know, do that. But anyway, go like Kathleen's page at Grits and Gouda on Facebook, and I believe she has a YouTube and a website. Okay. Number 5, I have already done with another supply that Steve brought me. I have made salsa. So there is my pint jar of my salsa. Now, back in 2020, Deb and I did a video on this salsa. So go and watch that video. We do a hot water bath to can these. It's easy as pie. It's a little messy in your kitchen, but if you've got this many tomatoes, it's a great way to use them up. So go watch that video on our page. The salsa, I think it's called Homegrown Garden Salsa. I think is what we named it. So if you want to find it. Now, another thing I did last week was make tomato sauce. This is a quart size jar, and it's tomato sauce. And when you make it, you gotta have a lot of tomatoes because it takes a lot of tomatoes to make this much sauce. But what you can do this winter is open this sauce, pour it in a pan, and make yourself some vegetable soup, and you will think you're in the summertime. It's gonna be that good. So tomato sauce, make yourself some tomato sauce. It's not hard. You just blanch those tomatoes, peel the skins off, push them through a colander, and you got tomato sauce, you know. So, and then you hot water bath them, of course. All right, now, pico de gallo. Pico de gallo, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't have very good Spanish, but when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I love me some pico de gallo. And it's tomatoes, onions, garlic, cilantro, jalapeno, lime, cumin, and some salt and pepper. Make that, you know, with these fresh tomatoes, and you will be in Mexican heaven, I'm quite sure. So that's number 7, pico de gallo. Okay, the next one, we're going to make a caprese salad. And I didn't do the recipe on her page, but Grits and Gouda also has a caprese salad on her page, I noticed today. So we're gonna do just a simple one. So I have myself a bowl, and I'm going to, well, first I'm gonna move this taco stuff. All right, so I can chop up my tomatoes without interference. All right, so I pulled out some of the smaller tomatoes from my tomato stash, and I'm just gonna quarter them And actually, now most of the time people use cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes for Capri salad. But I don't have those, but I do have these smaller version of these yummy Sand Mountain tomatoes. So I'm using that. I cored them, and let me show you something. This one's got a little bruise on it. I'm just gonna cut that bruised part off and discard it. It doesn't mean the whole tomato's bad just because it has a little bruise on it. So, another thing, y'all, if you don't have one of these tomato knives, you need to get you one. I love my tomato knife. Okay, so I've about got that done. Do one more. Do this one. Some of these are getting really ripe. So I want to be careful and not get them too ripe so they won't last. I'm going to take this for lunch tomorrow, y'all. Okay, and share it with some of my coworkers. Okay, cut these a little smaller. Okay, now there's my tomatoes all cut up. You saw how quick that was. Now I'm going to add, now I call these mozzarella balls, but that's really not what they are. They're round mozzarella pearls. Mozzarella pearls. So, Pearl was my grandmother's name. I'm going to pour those in with my, another spoon. And pour those in with my tomatoes. All right, so there's that. So, okay, next we're going to add some fresh basil. Now, I went to the store to get fresh basil, and their basil looks terrible. It was all brown and wrinkly and yucky. So, but I found this. This is called Farm Fresh Basil Puree, and it was in the produce department, close to the other spices. But I thought, hey, it's almost as good as fresh, and it's already mushed, so I don't have to chop anything. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon, I think, of it. So there's my teaspoon of semi-fresh basil. And I'll taste it in a minute to see if it needs some more, because I'm not really sure if it will or not. So now I'm just kind of stirring that up. That basil really will make it Italian. I can smell it already. I'm going to go ahead and add some more. Probably another half teaspoon-ish. You know, eyeball it. If you don't know, you're not going to hurt anything by eyeballing it. Unless you go overboard and then you're like, oh man, I added too much. Okay, so there's that. Now, what you're going to add next is balsamic dressing. Now you can make your own using balsamic vinegar and whatever else. I went ahead and bought the Kraft balsamic vinegar dressing. But what I'm going to do is add some honey to mine, because I like my balsamic a little bit sweeter. I'm going to add about a little over half a cup, I think. Then I'm going to add a quarter cup of honey. Honey makes everything better. And this is local honey, so that means it's good for you. All right, so get that out of there. Yummy, yum. Okay, mix it up with my little whisk, a little whisker. Now tomorrow when I eat this, I'm gonna put me out a bed of baby spinach leaves on a plate. And then I'm gonna dip my Capri salad over that. I may have mixed up a little bit much. Oh, yum. Oh, he's trying to escape. Okay. All right, look here. Capri's salad. I'm gonna try and bite, y'all. I'm really hungry. I've got spaghetti on the stove. We're having spaghetti tonight. Need one of those cheeses. Mmm, so good. Needs a dash of salt. And add a pinch of salt. And a pinch of pepper. This is the coarse ground black pepper. And now it will be perfect, I promise. So y'all, that's really simple to do. And it's good. Probably when I'm done here, I will go back and add more tomatoes and more of the little mozzarella balls. But I wanted to show y'all how these came. They didn't have a container of mozzarella balls this time. They had a mozzarella snacking cheese. So that's what I picked up. And let me show you how they come. It's kind of cute. They come in a little container, kind of like the Bon-Bell cheese. And there's 3 little mozzarella balls in there. So you just open them and dump them out. Voila, as Deb would say. By the way, Deb is going on another vacation. She's on her way to the beach with her sister and her sister-in-law. And they are going to have the best time, I'm quite sure. So Deb has put me in charge of the cooking channel while she's gone. So look out. Just kidding. Maybe I won't mess it up. So there's our caprese salad. That was number 8. We're almost done. We're almost to number 10. Okay, number 9, bruschetta. Yeah, bruschetta. So I love whenever I'm at a party or anything and they're bringing around the appetizers and the hors d'oeuvres, I love those little, well, I don't know what you call them, little French bread pieces that are toasted hard and they're topped with bruschetta. I love those and I get 3 or 4 of them every time. So this is there's a good recipe on delish.com for bruschetta. It's not hard to make. I just didn't want to make it because I don't have anything to do with it right now. But bruschetta is a blend of tomatoes and garlic, olive oil, fresh basil again, balsamic vinegar again. And you know, you can easily make that and serve it on French bread or whatever. So bruschetta, number 9 of things to do with tomatoes. So let me think. Okay, we're down to number 10. And I'm not gonna fix it for you, but we have a video on our page of cucumber tomato salad. So you use cucumbers, you use red onion, you use tomatoes, and you use some Italian dressing. You can even make your own dressing if you want. I think we used Italian on ours. But this is a really great way to use fresh tomatoes. Cucumber salad is wonderful, and it's such a good accompaniment, like for a picnic or a cookout. It's just a really great side dish to serve. So that is 10 items that you can easily make with your garden tomatoes. So there are plenty others, y'all, but I just wanted to do 10 because that's a good, nice, even number. But what I'm gonna do with the rest of these tomatoes, I'm gonna tell you right now, and this again is a bonus. So what I'm gonna do with these, because they're ready to do something with, and I just don't have people to feed right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to freeze them. I've never frozen tomatoes, but I've read where you can and how to do it. And so what you do is you blanch them, you put them in some boiling water for a couple of minutes, remove the skins. I'm probably gonna core them before I put them in the boiling water. So I'll core them, drop them in the water a couple of minutes, remove the skins, and then you're gonna lay them out on a cookie sheet, flash freeze them, which means you put them in the freezer for a couple of hours and you get them good and hard and stable. And then you take them out and you put them in your freezer bags, get all the air out of the freezer bags, and seal them up, and voila, you have tomatoes in your freezer. Now, you can make spaghetti sauce with those. You can pull them out and use them any way you would use canned tomatoes in the middle of the winter. You can make salsa with them. You can do whatever you want with them. Now, I don't think they would be good to slice them up and eat them, you know, like a slicing tomato. But after you freeze them, they get a little mushy, I think. But, you know, that's what I'm going to do with the rest of these tomatoes. So, what do you think? You got some tomatoes? You say tomato, I say tomato, but I really say tomato. So, but anyway, that's what Mo is going to do with all of these tomatoes. So y'all, it's been great sharing this time with you, and we will see you soon. And Deb's put me in charge of doing a fabulous Friday freezer meal. So watch for that on Friday. See ya. Bye.